So let us discuss 19th June 2015 newspaper. The first article is related to Indian Institute of Management Amendment Bill 2015. Now let us see why this bill is necessary. As of now, IIMs, they award only the so-called as postgraduate diploma. Now, this postgraduate diploma is prohibiting opportunities for the people for doing PhDs and also entry into various faculty positions. That's why the bill wants to replace postgraduate diploma with a degree, and also it provides for statutory status to various IIMs, Indian Institute of Management. In this context, the major controversy is the government is trying to curtail the autonomy of these institutes. So what are these things are? IIM proposes that all the Indian Institute of Management, they shall be declared as institutes of national importance. But the Ministry of Human Resources says the other way around. It will select few IIMs as the institutions of national importance, and the fee structure has to be approved by the center or consulted to the center. Creation of any academic positions or other positions, it has to be with the permission of the government. So it means that the independence of IIMs is being curtailed, which is going to curtail innovation, creativity in the functioning of the IIMs. That's what is the argument. And these are yesterday only it was draft bill is kept in the internet. Slowly new arguments will come up. But why do we need this bill is important. That is to grant statutory status to the IIMs, and the second thing is to award a degree rather than a postgraduate diploma, and finally to improve the job market and to provide for more number of faculties to teach into IIMs. This particular bill is intended to. Now, the conflict of interest questions. The Supreme Court of India clearly has said in Tansy Land's case of J.J. Lalitha, all the public functionaries have to declare and they have to question for any minimal matter that involves the conflict of interest. It means wherever their public interest or wherever their functions as a public authority comes in conflict with their personal interests, that have to be taken up with greatest caution. That's what is the Supreme Court's advice in J.J. Lalitha case. So that's one thing which we need to take forward. And next is Shiv Vishwanathan article again. But here he talks about Mr. Chand, the Nek Chand, who has created the rock garden in Chandigarh. Now, as a famous personality, these questions are also asked in our UPSC. Try to know something about Nek Chand. So the rock garden, what he thought about is this. And waste, garbage or something is an expression of the culture. So it means that how we are disposing the household waste, etc. That made his rock garden only a possibility in India, not in the other countries. So an expression of the materialism, an expression of the growing urbanism. So what he said is, it's a folklore artist's expression related to growing urbanism. That is what has been expressed over here. And next is growing of IS, Islamic State. Now we know that at Thal Abayad in Syria, at Syria border, the Kurdish Kurds have taken over the Islamic State. So this has curtailed or disconnected the important supply chains necessary for Islamic State. So it's a strategic victory for the Kurdish forces. Already we have seen the sectarian violence or sectarian conflict, how it is leading to the spread of Islamic State, and how it is leading the fight against the Islamic State weak and vulnerable. Now in this context, what happened is, now many places, especially Turkey, has an antagonism towards the Kurds, and Turkey sees certain Kurds factions as terrorists. Now Kurdish Workers' Party, it is regarded by both Turkey and United States as a terror organization. But Kurds, on the other hand, they are liberals unlike the Islamic State. So they believe in gender equality and also they believe in secularism. So in the long run, Kurds are going to be natural associates of the liberal world, and so the Kurds have to be given the necessary support as they are appearing to be as the forces that can hold or control the growth of or expansion of the Islamic State. Now, the people who occupied, the Kurdish forces who occupied the Tal Abayad, these are at the Syrian border. There is a party over there that is called as a Democratic Union Party, and its armed forces, they are called People Protection Units. These armed forces actually fought against the Islamic State and took over the control of Tal Abayad. Now, the Turkey has to understand that the Islamic State and fall of or failure of Syrian state, it is going to be a more dangerous situation towards the Turkey. Already Turkey is engaged in a peace process for the last 2 years with Kurdish Workers' Party. Now, it means that the Kurdish engagement with Turkey is constructive. And once the neighboring state, that is Syria, fails, there will be a huge exodus of the refugees into Turkey, and it makes the borders of the Turkey more and more vulnerable. So in the existing situation, so the Turkey engaging with Kurds is the right step. Added to that, in the recent elections in Turkey, Kurdish party has got the 12% of the votes and secured the 80 seats in the representative house. So it means that it is the high time that Turkey has to recognize the role of the Kurds in its nation building. Next is, with regard to MG in Aragon, recently Modi government has expanded it from 100 days to 150 days in the drought hit districts. So why the Modi government did this? So Modi government, it has officially said that MG Narega is an expression of the failure of poverty programs of the previous regime. But World Bank document recently released, what it showed that is, the MG Narega played a critical role in reducing the poverty on the rural side. Now it is not just an ad hoc arrangement to decrease the rural distress. It is a sustainable anti-poverty program, that is the opinion expressed by the World Bank. Now, Modi government appeared to have something against to the MG Narega as a failed program. But however, slowly the Modi government has recognized that it is going to be one of the sustainable anti-poverty issues. So in this context, the regular payment of the bills and also improving the work structure are important recommendations to improve this program. So along with this, the assets which are created under MG Narega, they are not at all qualitative and sustainable, where the government also needs to address this problem further. So these are the things. And next is Muslim ghettos. So the Mumbra, a suburban place of Mumbai, it has growing as a large conglomeration of the Muslims. After the 1992 riots in Mumbai, many of the Muslims fled the main city and they got accommodated themselves over here in this suburban place. But it clearly shows that there is a neglect of the civic amenities and also major legalities or major enforcement of the laws is missing over here. And more, this particular place is susceptible for the police hatred and also the victimization by the police in the name of the terrorist groups. So, but in spite of all these odds, a kind of a hope is growing in this particular area because of the improvement in the levels of education of these people against all the odds. That shows the people are aspiring for an upward mobility in their particular lives. And next article, there is a dip in black money. That means that people are feared a bit that government is going to take a tough action against the black money. So these are the articles in today's newspaper. Now, there are no much important articles. All of these articles we have discussed previously. So let me recollect again. So in Islamic State, the Kurdish forces are showing a strong favor to fight them. So in this context, the Tel Abyad is occupied by the Kurdish forces in the Syria border that has disconnected the important supply chain. But lack of support from Turkey and America is making the Kurdish forces weak against Islamic State. So the Turkey has to realize that the supporting of the secular Kurds is more important to fight against the Islamic State, if not, which may lead to the failure of the states and refugee crisis, which can lead to an ultimate humanitarian crisis in the region. So again, we saw the MG Narega. So what it said about MG Narega is a sustainable anti-poverty program. It is not an ad hoc arrangement to address the rural side distress or farm distress. As the monsoon prediction has decreased by the IMD, so the government has expanded the number of workdays from 100 to 150 in the drought affected areas, which is a progressive sign. So along with this, certain minimal mistakes, if they are rectified, this can be a sustainable anti-poverty program to be continued in the future too. So these are the articles that we discussed. Thank you very much.